Welcome back to the Physique podcast. Today we're on episode 8 and I'm joined by my lovely girlfriend.
Hi guys. Oh.
Today's episode we are going to be talking about how online coaches specifically from the UK can leave the UK and work abroad and how that looks, what decisions you need to be making. But I want to start it off with this. Have you ever been in the UK and caught yourself daydreaming about the sunny weather, maybe in Dubai, in Bali, in Marbella, maybe in America, because it's so wet, dingy, cold, shit, dark in the UK for like the 20th day in a row? I know that Estee suffers from SAD a lot, right? It takes one day to rain in Bali and she's like, oh, the weather's shit. I'm like, relax. Anywho, imagine running your coaching business from outside the UK where every day you wake up, sun is shining, the vitamin D exposure is through the roof, but you don't know where to start. Well, today you're going to be able to start that process by the time you've wrapped up this podcast. So, one thing that I want to discuss right from the bat is our personal experience of moving abroad and running our online coaching business. So, we did 2 phases. Let's take a trip back to memory lane in 2023. We were living in Sheffield and I think we got stiffed actually by the landlord.
A bit of a background.
Raised the prices of the rent again.
Yeah, but also, to a lot of people, we were living the life in Sheffield. We had a 4-bedroom house, nice
Too
cars.
much space.
So a lot of people would naturally settle. So that's the background. But we had an ultimatum whether to extend our rent or move out.
Yeah, but that's what everyone has every year.
Yeah, but we decided just to fuck off to the other side of the world.
I don't think anyone's listening here having more than more than 12 months rent agreement.
Some people do.
I don't. Well, I'm just saying I haven't met anyone. My entire life, your entire life has been 12 month by 12 month by 12 month.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, instead of us going the safe route of renting, that wasn't even an option for us. We just wanted to get out.
Of course it was an option.
Nah.
We looked
We didn't
around.
even discuss. Nah. We didn't even discuss.
Okay, I looked around because I
Okay.
like to do my due diligence.
I didn't know that.
I just do that market research. No, I'm always doing I'm doing it. Even though we've got a villa, now I do my market research on villas in Bali. Because I just like to know what the price is, what the availability is, etc. But yeah, we literally made the decision within 2 weeks to leave Sheffield and get on a plane to Bali and chuck everything into storage unit in Sheffield. And we just fucked off really for 3 months. Was it 3 months? 2 months? 3 months?
You were gone for 2 months. I was gone for 4.
Yeah, because I was on prep at the time, and this was the last time I did any competing, which was the back end of 2023. So we did 2 months in Bali. I did 2 months in Bali. You did 4 months. And the way that we got there initially was by a tourist visa called a B211A. So that was the first phase. And this is one thing I would say to everybody listening, is that you have to figure out where you want to live, you have to live there for a couple of months. So if you want to go to Dubai, live in Dubai, live there for a couple of months, come back. You know? Because the reason why many of you are considering leaving the UK is because the UK is shit. You're getting fucked in the ass by tax double time. Cost of living's through the roof. Do you know what's amazing? Electricity is universal, right? We can agree. Electricity is electricity, right? Electricity here costs far less than the electricity in the UK. How does that make sense? Like to run a 2-bedroom villa, it's costing £100 a month maximum, by the way. And electricity is electricity. A light bulb is a light bulb. A fucking rice cooker is a rice cooker. It uses the same amount of electricity. If anything, villas here use way more electricity because the aircon.
And also pools.
Pools and the aircon. Imagine if your fucking property in the UK had 3 aircon units and a pool which was consistently on. Your fucking lecky bill would be £300, £400 a month. Easy. So I can understand why a lot of people want to leave the UK, and I can understand, especially if you're in a very good position financially with your business as an online coach, you're going to want to leave the UK. So we're going to give you an insight into particularly how it's been able to happen with Bali. Now, I want to get your experience of the situation because I was in prep. So when I'm in prep, I'm pretty detached. So I want to get your experience of going from Sheffield to Bali within like 3 weeks because it literally was that. Like, you're the one that shares more emotions than I do. I just kind of crack on. So, how did you feel about that situation for 3 weeks? Because you're going to be the far more realistic person here within this situation. Because I can just bounce to situation to situation. I couldn't give a shit.
I mean, the first initial phase, I can't really remember me being stressed. I was overwhelmed because there was a lot to do, like moving out of a house, then knowing what to do with my car, then the storage, then packing a suitcase for a hot country, even though all you've got is cold winter jumpers and hoodies. Like, I found that overwhelming, but actually getting here, I was buzzing. I was like, get me out of there. It was the phase two that was a bit, that was a lot. The first one, it was like going on holiday
Yeah.
because I knew I was coming back because my car was still on finance. Like, I had still, all my stuff was still like in storage. Like, I knew that I was coming back. So it wasn't like, oh my God, like I'm going to go away and I don't know when I'm coming back. I was just buzzing to get out.
Yeah.
So that was it.
And that's the easiest bit for everybody.
Yeah. Because you haven't got anything to deal with apart from pack a suitcase and
Because
off you go.
you left the car here.
Yeah.
We were paying for a storage unit.
Yeah.
Paying for phones, laptops.
Yeah, still paying for
What else?
everything.
What else did we
Cars,
have?
Still paying for everything.
You had car.
My car and then just
That was
laptop.
pretty much it, though,
phones,
right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the expenses that you need to run the business. So, like, overheads were lower, way lower, because I don't know. Actually, would you say that rent was more expensive short term than it is now? It's probably about the same, isn't it?
What, in Bali?
Yeah,
It's literally the
probably
same.
about the same, isn't it?
It's the same.
But there's like the one thing I'll say is when you come to, and this applies anywhere. When you go to a country and you're Airbnb in it, the likelihood of you staying in the same place for longer than 4 weeks is very slim. So like you kind of know you have to move around. Like how many places did we go first time? We did the fuck.
We went
We did the initial villa,
yeah, which is like for a couple of weeks.
which was the Seminyak one, right? Correct.
No, we went to Ungansan before.
Shit. Yeah, but that was like 3 days.
No, it wasn't. It was like
Was
a
it?
good couple of weeks.
Okay, shit. This is why she's here. So we went Ungansan, which is like South Bali. Then we went to Seminyak,
Yeah.
correct, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which was I actually really enjoyed that place. It was like a resort hotel
You
sort of.
sure it wasn't 4?
Yeah, I'm just getting to it now. It was full, and then we had the
Oh.
place in Chamagi, where the Solomon's near Solomon's. Yeah, do
No,
you
we
remember
had
that?
one before where it was near Raya Canggu.
What? Which one was that?
That apartment.
No, that was the last one.
Oh, okay. You're going in order, sorry.
So I'm going in order. Yeah. So the Ungansan, Seminyak, Chamagi, correct? We did go from Chamagi to Seminyak, right?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then from Chamagi to Raya Canggu.
Yeah.
So it was 4.
Yeah.
So we did 4 in the space of 2 months, and then you.
And then I was in just Canggu in a
Yeah.
guest house.
So if you're not prepared, like genuinely, if you
It
want
is
to,
a bit stressful, I can't
that
lie.
bit, yeah. I mean, I personally don't mind living out of a
Hate
suitcase.
it. Hate
You
it.
hate it. So if you are uncomfortable living out of a suitcase, you're gonna have to organize a bit more. You're gonna have to forward plan a little bit more, because the reality is, if you want to get good value for money with your accommodation, you're probably gonna do 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there for the first couple of months, right? But we'll obviously move on to how you can get long-term accommodation here. Same with Dubai. Once you go there, you do a bit of Airbnb. Same with Marbella. Same with places, other places. You do Airbnb, and then you look around, get onto the group chats, get onto Facebook Marketplace where these people are actually selling long-term accommodation. So fast forward the first phase, we came back. Obviously, we had
I
to come
spent
back.
2 months in Bali on my own, folks.
Yeah, go through that a bit. What was that like?
That was scary at first. I remember I actually vlogged it because it was hilarious. My first week. So I went from
Yeah, it's a coping
living.
mechanism, though, isn't it?
It was hard. I went
But like
literally.
you're
I
vlogging
literally
to like help you feel a
talk
little
to
bit less.
someone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that was literally it. But I literally obviously went from living in villas and apartments with Steve to then going to a guest house, which essentially you have your own room and your own bathroom, but it's like a shared community area. So like a shared kitchen, shared pool. And as an introvert like myself, oh my God, I hated the first week. I felt so homesick. I was tempted to go home, and I just decided to challenge myself. And I actually loved it. I was actually productive. I just used it to focus on myself, and I just cracked on. But I will say, like, being in Bali made me really safe. Like, I didn't even know how to ride a scooter back then, so I just was go-jacking it everywhere. Because
It
again,
made you feel safe.
yeah, there was not one point where I was like, oh, this is a bit dodge. Oh, I don't feel very safe. If anything, it was just very inconvenient because I was living very, very far away from the gym. But because
Right.
I'm shit at locations and he's Mr. Location Man and he's no longer here,
Compass guy.
I just picked something that was the cheapest. Turns out it was way, way far away, and no Gojek drivers would want to come get me. So just everything took forever. Going to the gym took forever, and then I was like, oh, fuck. Everything was just so not convenient when you'd gone. I was like, fuck. My transport's gone, my map's gone, the laundry man's
But
gone.
this is the thing, right? And this is why, because I've never been to Bali on my own, right? I've always been with you. Now, what's the key difference between living in a guest house and living in an apartment? What would you say is the biggest difference? You spend more time out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you only just go in and sleep. Like I remember I'd work at the gym, I'd be at the gym, I'd eat out. Like I'd never really stayed in apart from like an odd afternoon. But yeah, to be fair, I was quite lucky because my guest house was like 7 people in there, so it was a small guest house.
Did you make friends with anyone?
Yeah, I actually did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were really cute actually. But like still, that's very much out of my comfort zone. I hate doing shit like that. Again, he's Mr. Social. I just stand there in the background. So that again was massively out of my comfort zone. But I think it did me good, you know? But yeah, big adjustment that
When you
was.
say it did you good, like obviously a lot of people are probably going to go to these places on their own. What was the biggest mindset challenge or shift that you had to make whilst being out here on your own?
Do you know what? It's not really a mindset shift because the what made me realise is everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people come to Bali, especially on their own. Like I've met so many people just in cafes chatting, like over just random stuff, whether it's like your coffee order or whatever. But I've never really had that anywhere else. Like that wouldn't happen in the UK, but someone would just go, "Oh, what have you got? That coffee looks really nice."
Nah, everyone's
Do you know
fucking
what I
miserable.
mean?
Everyone's miserable in the UK, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Honestly.
think it's not really a mindset shift. It's more so realizing that everyone's in the same boat, like, and you're not gonna feel like a weirdo to like make the first conversation. Yeah. Just again, it's just an adjustment because again, I've not really been exposed to anything like that before.
Yeah. It's adjustment to the time zone as well. It's a big time zone gap.
Oh, it's
Huge
hard.
time zone gap, in fact. Like, I mean, it's still something now that we're adjusting to in regards to
Work.
ideally, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I'd say Bali's probably a little bit too far
Too
ahead.
far. Yeah,
It's a really fucking awkward
I
time.
agree.
Like, I find myself having to stay up at like 2 a.m. sometimes for consult calls, and I don't care how much hustle you want to say you have, you don't want to be doing that all the time, right?
But also, you're not the same person that you are at 2 a.m. than when you are at
Exactly.
midday.
Yeah.
So
And I'd say
social.
that's probably the biggest consideration to take into account. And this is why a lot of UK coaches go to Dubai, because it's a really happy medium. I feel like you have to make far less adjustments to live in Dubai than you do to live in Bali. And like this is one thing I say, if you're coming this far across the world, especially like if you're looking to go Australia or Thailand. So like I'd say like Thailand, Bali, and Australia, like they're probably the top three in regards to this kind of time zone where you can live with access to westernized culture. China, Japan, I can't speak for. You have to make the adjustment with the time zone. Like time zones, Thailand was okay. Thailand was manageable for 2 months. But again, it's another thing where Thailand, we knew it was like short term. So
I don't think we had the same mindset that we did when we moved here.
Thailand was holiday, man.
Yeah,
It was very much
it's the
holiday.
first this is the first bit of sun we've had in God knows how long.
Like I was pretty unproductive in Thailand. I'm not gonna lie.
You're Mr. Party Animal.
Yeah, I was pretty unproductive in Thailand. I wasn't pie animal. I went out once, one time, right, and I ended up in Patong. Okay, 40 minutes away from the club. I don't know how that happened, but listen, shout out to Jerome, my guy. Thank you very much. Now, regarding visas, you actually initially sorted out the visas first, right?
Yeah.
I didn't fucking know what was going on. So
Yeah.
explain the situation with visas.
Really
Short term.
easy. Really easy.
Yeah, explain it.
You just go on Immigrassi.
Immigration, that's Immigrassi for
That's
in the
literally just to put in Indonesia Migrasi, and it'll literally come up, and it literally says like e-visa, and you just pay. What you want is you want the 60-day tourist visa, which is the B211A, but I think it's changed now. I don't think it's called that anymore.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you literally get 60 days, but you've got the opportunity to extend it twice. So you essentially get 6 months in Bali as a tourist, which is
The
pretty
one
good.
caveat is you have to apply for that before you come in the country. Let me give you an example. When I came in 2024 with you, my B211A didn't come in time. So I had to go through the faff of getting a VOA, which is a 30-day, and then I had to leave, go to Malaysia, and then come back on my B211A. So your B211A is only gets activated when it's been processed, been approved, and then you go through border control, right? You can't do it in the country. You have to leave and come back. I don't know why, but that's the process. Now it's a little bit more electronically friendly, whereas now it's all connected to your passport. They have passport scanners, but fuck me, when we went to Bali in 2023,
It's mad, innit?
God, it was third world country to fuck. Honestly, the fucking airport was non-existent. Like literally, like you turn up to immigration, there's no one there. It's just a big queue. It's just a big queue and like 3 people on desks. And there's just loads of people waiting. Now it's actually a lot more Western friendly, where you got the passport scanners, etc., etc. So yeah, it's Bali's putting a lot of money into its tourism. It's setting up the infrastructure a lot more from the front end anyway. Like the way to get in the country now is a lot simpler than it was when it was in 2023. That's for sure.
But yeah, the B211A it's around £80 for 2
It's
months.
not much. Let's put it this way: if you're making £3,000 a month, right, UK, you come here, you're not even spending anything close to that regarding your visas, regarding your accommodation, regarding your cost of living. Because remember, when you come here short term, a lot of the bills are included in the Airbnb prices. So let's say you pay £500 for a month, right, for a guest house or whatever, or for a small villa, maybe 750. That's bills included. So that's you looking after everything, right? So you've got cooking gas, you've got electricity, you've got Wi-Fi. So you don't have to worry about it. It's just a one-off payment. Whereas if you do long term like we do, we pay for electricity, we pay for the water, we pay for the laundry. A lot of those things are included in the places you stay. Because one thing I will say with Bali is there's a lot of like complexes here, but they're not like your apartment complexes. They're like house stays and guest houses where they'll have a laundry woman, they'll have water fill ups, etc., etc. So you don't have to. Normally the stuff that you have to worry about in the UK, you don't have to worry about here at all because it all just gets taken care of.
Yeah, but I feel like even if you've got like long-term villas and stuff, you've still got a cleaner and you still go and take
Yeah.
the laundry out.
Yeah, so I do the laundry like what 3 times a week, maybe twice a week, depends.
And you just take the laundry.
Yeah, just take the laundry. That's what I mean.
Don't really do the laundry.
No, well, exactly, but that's why you live in.
That's what we mean.
That's why I say, like, I'll be honest with you, like,
There's no chores. We don't do
nah,
any
you don't
chores
have to do
anymore.
anything. No, seriously, like yeah, that's the biggest thing I say. How many times did you spend cleaning that fucking house?
So many.
I can't remember the last time I wiped a fucking countertop.
Yeah.
Can't. Julie does everything.
Yeah.
She's a G, man.
Yeah.
She's been with us now in 3 villas. She's coming to the next one. She's a G, man. She's so good.
Monty knows her since it was.
Yeah, she's been Monty's cleaner, man.
Literally.
So, yeah, and she costs what 150k a pop. So, like, if you want her to clean twice a week, well, I get her to clean 3 times a week. So we pay 450, which is like, if you did twice a week, it's 300k, which is £15 a week. £15 a week to fucking lick the windows. That's what she does. She's so good.
Yeah.
She's very good.
Yeah.
Like,
she's very good.
She's very good. And then obviously laundry's super cheap here. It's like,
I mean, one's what we use is quite expensive.
yeah, but I don't care. It's
But
expensive relative to Bali.
Because it doesn't ruin your clothes. You have to be very, very careful with laundry.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to look out for. All right, it's laundry. Make sure you go to the right people. Now, is there anything that you did differently? If we're going through the phases. Actually, no. Let's rewind, man. We haven't even spoke about what we had to do to actually move permanently. So let's go back to.
You're not going to do phase 2 and then talk about.
But this is phase 2. The whole thing's phase 2. So we come back from Bali. This is so the minute you land back from Bali to the UK, that's phase 2 right there.
Okay, cool.
So we have my dad's funeral, we have Christmas, and then we probably sit down January and we're like, what the fuck's going on?
I don't even think we didn't even sit down. We knew that
So
we
let's
just
get
had
this
to
shit
work
together.
hard and just fucking get out. Just get out.
One thing I will say is
That was hard.
when you leave your rent agreement in the UK and you come back, you're gonna have to rely on your parents, or you're gonna have to rely on somebody,
Yeah.
because otherwise, there's no
Can't save any money.
short-term Airbnb in the UK ain't a fucking thing.
We tried it.
Like, it's fucking expensive, right?
We
And
did like
I'm
2
talking, you're paying like £1,500 for a fucking 1-bedroom apartment. It's
for 2
fucked.
weeks.
It's fucked, right? So that we went to Barnsley, we went to Burton, we were in Brackley, we were in Grantham. Where else were we?
That's it.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I liked Barnsley, to be fair. I kind of liked it.
I quite like Barnsley.
Yeah,
too.
Barnsley's alright. Shout out to Barnsley. Muscle Unit Gym, great fucking gym. Now, that whole thing, I reckon that short-term stay in the UK accelerated it. We were like, we've got to fucking do this. So we essentially just looked at flights. We went to Thailand first, and we basically assessed our options. We did what I'm advising you guys to do, is check out locations. So very distant memory now, but we did have that conversation like, Thailand or Bali.
100% all the time. I remember.
Yeah, all the time.
Because we're not slating Thailand. We love Thailand. We actually love Thailand. Like, relatively speaking, Thailand is a lot cheaper to live in than Bali.
Yeah,
100%. And I feel like there's a lot more Western friendly. Like, I feel like
I don't think
there's
I
more
really
infrastructure. Like, you can get your food delivered by like Costco, basically. That was sick.
I don't. Yeah, but the thing is, though, one thing I will say is, I don't think we could eat the same way we eat here. No way.
No, because
There's no way. There's no facilities for that, big man.
I mean, look, the kitchens were good.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
You just
the
have to make your own food
The
more.
produce isn't as good. You can't tell me that the produce in Thailand was better than Bali. No way.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
but you
But
could
think
make
about
it
it.
work.
If you're, but what
Again,
we're talking about online
we
coaches here.
we weren't really in the mindset of trying it though.
But what I'm saying is now
we were just
I
living off
know
street food.
now exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't do that long term, but that is what's most available. What's most available here is fucking meal prep companies that are going to do you meals for fucking less than £4 and deliver it to your door. That's what I'm saying. That's the big difference. And Dubai, I would say, do you know what? People are sleeping on Bali. Dubai and Bali have a lot of fucking similarities with the convenience. Like, the convenience aspect between Bali and Dubai is super simple, like super similar. Like, you've got access to food, you've got access to transport very easily, you've got access to gyms.
Medical services.
Medical services here are very good. Like, I was on death's door. I paid somebody, like, what was it, 2 mil, 2.5 mil?
I literally
They gave me
WhatsApped them.
WhatsApped him. Doctor
And
came,
then
fucking came to my house.
doctor came in with an ambulance.
Amazing.
Straight on the IV drip to Steve.
Amazing, fucking amazing.
Next day he's up.
Like, we've got health insurance, but we haven't had to use it because the intermediary services between, like, not doing anything and requiring health insurance, or requiring a service that needs the health insurance to pay out, they've been really good, super good. Like, the doctors, like, anytime, like, we've had a medical condition, we just get a blood test, they solve it straight away. There's no fucking around. There's no waiting around. There's no sitting around. You go into a medical centre, you say, right, I've got this problem. They sit you down, they do a blood test, they give you the results all within a day. And then they give you medication to solve the problem. And then in worst case scenario, more immediate emergency scenarios, they'll come to your house. Like, they were literally on my bed. Like, my arm was like this. And then they were just strapping me up to IV drips for like 2 hours. And it cost like 130 quid or something. It was absolutely bargain. So, yeah, in regards to the situation with moving, you've just got to bite the bullet when it comes to the instability and the what's the word you would call it? The uncertainty
Uncertainty, yeah.
in that second phase. So, like,
also, like, it's a risk, isn't it?
First phase is fun. If it's not, though.
No, but
when
it
you
is.
when you
Because
boil it down.
you don't understand. Like, a lot of people don't like the idea of, like, I struggled with it. Like, especially things like letting go of my car. Like, I worked really hard to have my car, and then that's just gone, and then everything's gone. And then, like, it's almost like you are actually tying the knot and saying goodbye to the UK. And that, for somebody like security, some people really might struggle with that. Like, that if I didn't have you at my side being gassed, I wouldn't have done it by my own. Because I would just been too anxious and nervous to just completely leave everything.
Yeah, but that's why we're doing this podcast, because I'm telling you now, completely leave everything, because it's not that bad. Look, we're all right. How many things do you actually miss?
Yeah, I miss my car. And my mum.
2 things. But you don't really miss your car that much. You don't miss it that much.
No. But I do miss
Yeah, your
the
mum. I mean, yeah, your mum is fine. I
family.
mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fucking fair enough shout. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of people who may think, oh, I'm not going to do it because I have a car to pay for. I'm not going to do it because my parents are a certain age.
Actually,
Then that really
speaking of
is.
cars to pay for, I had this question quite a lot about mine. So I was on a PCP for 5 years originally, but luckily this is fate at its finest. So I was halfway through my agreement, and with a PCP, what you can do is you can either give the car back or exchange it for a different one. So if you're obviously, thinking, oh, I'm tied down to my car, if you're on a PCP and you're halfway through your agreement, you actually can just give it back. I didn't have to pay anything extra either, so a little tip. Because a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
just
mean, I
give it
don't think
back.
I knew that,
Just fucking give it
to
back.
be honest.
Well, the difference between a PCP and a HP is that hire purchase means that you're paying off the entire price of the car with interest included over a certain period of time. So that's why HPR is a lot more. Like my Jaguar was a HP purchase, right? Hire purchase, which meant my monthlies were like 440 quid, £444 exactly, and I was paying that over a 5 year period. Obviously, in the middle between that, my car got stolen, so that I didn't have to contend with. So that for me, that decision was already made when
Yeah.
before we moved to the 4 bedroom house. My car got stolen in Sheffield, and that was a big thing for me. I'll tell you this now. That's when I started thinking, I'm getting the fuck out of this place.
Yeah,
Because
because
I
it got
worked so
stolen from
hard.
where you
Yeah,
literally live in.
I worked incredibly hard to like put myself in a position where I could afford rent, a good car, really good life. And then for it to literally be gone, an SUV, Jag F pace from one day to the
You were
next,
sleeping.
whilst I was asleep. It was fucking the Queen Jubilees. What was it called?
Yeah, Queen's Jubilee.
Fucking Queen's whatever Jubilee, Diamond, yeah? I literally walked out the fucking property, this apartment in Sheffield, and I literally thought I was dreaming. I was like, where the fuck is my car? And I literally, it was like a U-shaped. I went all the way out and I was like, somebody's moving my car. I went all the
remember
way
you
to the
rang
street.
me.
I went all the way to the street and I was like, nah, someone's just moved my car. And then like 30 seconds in, it just dawned on me. I just got overcome with the realization of,
My car's
fuck,
actually
my
been stolen.
car's actually gone.
Yeah, because he rang me and I was at the gym, finishing up at the gym, and
I was speechless.
and he was
I
like,
repeated the same thing like 5
he's
times.
like, Esther, have you seen my car? Did you see my car when I left? When you left for the gym, did you see it? Did you see it? And I was like, I didn't really look. You know when you're not really looking around, are you? And I was like, no, Esther, I'm being serious. My car's been stolen. And I thought he was taking the piss. And I was like, no, like for real, my car has actually gone. But they didn't take any of his keys. So again,
That was
if
what
you've
shook
got a
me.
keyless system
Yeah,
with
that's what shook
with your
me.
car, get one of them little boxes to put your keys in, because you never know. Because that's scary. Like we were literally just asleep. It just happened at night time. Bye.
25 grand car, man.
See you later.
Poof.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah.
That was when I first was like, I'm not living here for much longer. And then the final nail in the coffin was when my dad died. I was like, right, I really don't have anything. Like, imagine if, like, obviously, what we're talking like worst case scenario. Imagine if you didn't have your mum. You just said
Yeah.
you miss your mum and your car. You would have put Fudge in that equation. Fudge is now gone.
I mean, look, I've got brothers and stuff, but
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, apart from your family, there's nothing else. And like this is what I will say is a lot of people are in a very good position where they're paying for a lot of things. They've got a lot of nice luxuries, and you can easily find a way to marry yourself to the UK. You can easily find an excuse as to why you shouldn't leave. But the reality is, how much longer do you want to put up with the shit weather? Do you want to put up with the cunts at fucking Tesco? Do you want to put up with the people that are just so negative all the time? Like there's so many people that just moan and moan and moan in the UK. Like even you find yourself moaning far less about everything in general.
there's nothing to moan about, is there?
That's what I'm saying. But in
Like,
the
no.
UK, it's like every day something pops up.
Yeah.
And it's this or that. Or it's that person saying this or it's this. And I feel like social media as well, like a lot of people, I was one of them, and you probably might be the same. When I was in the UK, I was spending a lot of time using social media and scrolling. Now I barely even use social media like that. I use it to post, I use it to converse with people. And then in terms of actually using the platform and scrolling, very little of it. Because we're not trying to escape from anything. We're living a life that we want. And I see a lot of people, like some of my mentees as well, they just spend far too much time scrolling Instagram, liking people's shit.
But also, like, I know some people might be watching this and going, "Oh, well, I've got kids, I've got a family, the kids are at school."
But that's
Like,
different.
yeah, but also,
That's different.
I want to say that it's not impossible. Like I know, like one of my
I mean, I'm not.
friends.
I'm not going to give nobody advice who's got kids. That's not my
No, no, no.
place.
But
I ain't
I'm
got
just
fucking
saying,
kids.
like it's not impossible. Like a lot of people don't even think that that's an option. But I know multiple people that have.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if
So
you can make it work, make it work. You know, all I can speak to is our experience, and our experience has been pretty seamless. Once we've made the initial move from the UK to Bali, it's all just kind of been stage by stage by stage. It's like, right, you come back. Okay, we need to remove the storage. The storage bit was a bit of a hassle with you because you wanted to keep far too much shit. So I was like, all right, we're getting rid of this because we have to. You have to essentially condense an entire storage unit into two 20 kg suitcases. That's probably the biggest challenge.
but also a little tip for
I'd say
those
that's the biggest
for
challenge.
those of you with furniture and stuff like that. So many
Just get rid of it.
charities.
Just get rid of
No,
it.
I'm just telling them how to
Yeah,
get rid of
just get
it.
rid of it.
So many charities literally will take it from you. Like we had some charity men come over with a van, took everything that we couldn't sell, and then that was it. So you don't need to like do everything yourself. Because I was under the illusion that, oh my god, we have to go get a van, we have to do this, but yeah, you can actually contact like charities and they'll literally take the furniture from you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. If there's one piece of advice that you'd give yourself, or anyone listening to this right now, or even the version of you in 2023 before you did all this, what piece of advice would you give yourself
About what?
about moving, about the whole podcast we just spoke about? One piece of advice.
I wouldn't really change anything, so I wouldn't
No, but
really do.
I mean advice.
I don't
So
really
somebody
know.
listening,
What do you go first? I
I'll
don't
just
know.
say just fucking drop it. Just do it. Drop the bomb.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah, but that's easy but critical. A lot of people don't want to just drop it and go, right, fuck it. Press the fuck it button. Because trust me, there isn't anything that's going to happen. If you are financially secure and you have money coming in, back yourself. Because money makes the world go round. The whole process between moving from one country to the next is a lot easier when you have stability with your finances. When you don't have stability with your finances, then it becomes a bit more difficult. But when you've got a monthly recurring revenue of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 pound, it's easy, fucking easy. You know, I personally would. The only thing I would say to myself from like 2 years ago is I would have I would have done more the first time.
Yeah, but you were on prep, so it's not really
But that's what I'm saying. So like, if somebody's listening to me,
dead
I
ones.
would have given myself less to do in that phase two because we had a lot more to do than we originally thought. The amount of trips that we took to the storage unit, half the shit in the storage unit should have already been gone. Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah,
gave
well,
ourselves far more
yeah,
decision fatigue than we
okay.
needed.
Yeah, like we were very spontaneous and
Yeah, so we
sporadic.
didn't have enough time.
Like
Maybe
we had
prepare better
2 weeks
first
to
time.
leave the
Yeah.
house, move out, get that deep cleaned, and then get on a plane to Bali. And obviously, we didn't have any time to sell stuff or
Yeah.
start selling. So yeah, if you're thinking about moving, or even you might just do a little deep clean, get rid of shit that you haven't touched in ages. Because if
For
you
sure.
do decide to when you come back, you do decide to actually leave, then at least half of the stuff's already gone because you weren't using it anyway. Yeah.
Honestly, you'd be surprised at how many things you don't need. Like we hoarded a lot of shit in that
Just not you
financial
don't
house.
use
Don't
anymore
use,
either.
don't need, don't use, don't want. Don't need, don't use, don't want. Right? Those are the three things you need to focus on first. And the one thing I will say is the first step that you need to do now, if you're a coach or if anyone who has an online income or a digital nomad based income, you need to figure out why you're leaving the UK. If you're very strong on your reason why and you know why you're leaving the UK, you need to book the flight tomorrow. Okay? Then next, you need to look at your destination. So, what destinations am I going to try for my phase one? Some of you might be in between phase one and phase two. Some of you might be going into phase one. If you are in between phase one and phase two and you've already been to the location, start packing up your shit. The sooner you can organize getting out here or getting away from the UK, the better. Because it's a sinking fucking ship. Anyone who knows that they are staying because of the benefits that the UK currently has. The benefits are very fucking slim right now. And I know a lot of people, the reason why they haven't left is because of commitment to family, commitment to other things. Right? Realize that commitment to certain things is not necessary, like your car, like a mortgage, right? At the end of the day, with these things, they can be replaced. A mortgage can be replaced. Somebody can take it over. You know, don't feel like you're weighed down because you've got a mortgage, right? Again, money solves this problem. So all you need to do is have a look at a couple of countries, maybe 3 countries, to see where you want to travel. I'd say do a month each. Let's say you do 3 months, do 1 month in Dubai, 1 month in Thailand, 1 month in Australia, 1 month in Bali, whatever you want to do.
I mean, not even that. If you want to go a little bit more closer to the UK, go to like Spain,
Yeah,
Portugal.
Marbella is good. Marbella is good. Portugal's good.
Like, you don't have to go far, far, far away.
Yeah.
Because
That's episode 8. Episode 8. Thank you very much for your time, Estee.
thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right. Catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye.